Hey folks, welcome to Andy's Audio Crap, where we talk about audio goodness, and today's goodness is a Marantz and a Pioneer. And in this series, there's more videos than one, there's actually a lot of them, we're asking the question, is this thing worth the money to you know, your ears? Is it worth it? I mean, eyes, visually, yeah, it's worth it. It's beautiful. It's eye candy, stereo candy. Glitterness, man glitterness, I don't know what you'd call it, but it's something. Let's get into the video. All right, the video portion you're about to watch next is the Marantz section. The Marantz section hasn't changed across all of these videos. If you haven't watched one of these videos, please do watch it. If you have already watch one of these videos, probably skip ahead to about 6:30, 7 minutes, somewhere in there, probably 6:30, and we'll dig into the Pioneer section. Hopefully you're already familiar with Marantz. They have a long legacy of creating some of the most sought after, most desirable receivers and amplifiers. This in particular is a 2230. The 2230, they sold I don't know how many hundreds of thousands of these, but they used to be a dime a dozen. You could go out on any alley and find 2 or 3 of them. I'm being a little sarcastic, but 10 years ago, these were next to worthless. Now, these are just going through the roof. So why? Well, they sound absolutely killer good. In my pursuit to find something that can substitute in for this, I'm going to be looking at several different categories. This is my receiver stereo amp score sheet, and every amp that I compare to the Marantz is going to get a score sheet. The Marantz got a score sheet, and what we're going to look at on the score sheet is listening crap, input output rating crap, and value add crap. Now, let's go through the Marantz in particular. I gotta find it. There's a lot of them. I compared a lot of amps here, receivers. Top to bottom, this amplifier, as this one sits right now, would probably sell for $800 to $1,200 on eBay, depending on the day, depending on the buyer. It's Christmas time. God knows it's just gonna go crazy. So that classic 70s sound is what you're gonna get with one of these. You look at the controls, you only have a very limited amount of controls on this thing. You have a receiver, you have tone controls, which is low, medium, high, bass, mid, treble. You have phono in, aux in, and a couple of cassettes, I think. No, one cassette, and that's it. You got a pre-out, main in, things like that. It's really super basic, but it sounds absolutely phenomenal. And the looks, you can't deny it. The looks are great. Now, on the listening crap, because this is our benchmark, and we want to be able to distinguish between this and other receivers that I'm going to review, it gets 5s all the way down. Total score 25. We're going to score inputs, 10 each, and we're only looking at aux, CD, and phono. If it can do 4 ohms, it gets 20 points. Non-surround sound speaker outputs. So we're going to be doing some stereos that have surround sound. I just don't even care about the other outputs, only the main outs. Left-right channel leakage. This one's a little bit of an odd duck, but it's pretty easy to test. You unplug one channel from the input, unplug the speaker from the opposite, and, or no, you plug in, oh, no, wait, I got that wrong. You unplug one of the inputs, unplug the same speaker, no, the other one. Anyways, it's some mix of that, and if you can hear audio coming through, there's leakage. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna put the Marantz at a -10, which is the middle. Separation and stage, kind of a byproduct of a lot of things. Dynamic range, leakage, just general ability of the stereo to replicate stereo sound. We're gonna again put Marantz right in the middle. It's gonna be a 10. So Marantz got a total input output or input total output thing. This crap score right here, it's got a 60. And then the value add crap is stuff like serviceability, which this one we're gonna put it at the max. We're gonna say this is the max of serviceability. Everything from there on out is just going downhill, right? If you can match the serviceability of this, actually, just going to use my own experience here, this thing is ridiculously serviceable. Build quality, we're going to put this right in the middle. We're going to say this is middle tier, and you're going to see on some of these amps that they just went to the hilt to outdo themselves on things that you'll never ever see unless you're working on them. And then value, price. Now, the Marantz is going to be lower on this scale, right? It's very expensive for what it is, for how many watts you're getting, and well, you'll see as you watch these videos, you'll see the faceplate option and just general attractiveness. Marantz, I put it at a 40 on both. There are better ones out there, and I'm looking at one of them right now. Hopefully you subscribe, because this is going to be a series. I don't know how long it's going to go on. I just keep finding stuff and buying it to review against the Marantz. Let's talk about the Pioneer. The Pioneer came to me. This one is mine. The Pioneer that originally, you'll notice that this is not a 101, it's a 31. The 31's mine. The 101 is now back at Goodwill because they decided one layer of bubble wrap was enough to protect it in a loose box through shipping. It came in, it was completely trashed. It was not even film worthy. I needed to return it, but it still worked. So I did use it for a couple of days. Listen to it. The reason that this 31 is not in this lineup, and the reason that it's just a prop right now, is it does not have a phono input. And a phono input is required for this video series. The 101 does. Now the 101, I'm pretty sure the 101 is like the entry-level Elite. The 31, I don't think this is an entry-level Elite. I think it's kind of the middle of the road, but it's a good receiver. Again, doesn't have phono. The 101 I got it for roughly 120 bucks. This 31, I don't even remember how I got it. It's been around for quite some time. The sound. Now, this is really where it becomes difficult to explain the difference, because if you enjoy the distortion that comes from a Marantz, you're not going to like the Elite. The Elite is very articulated, and it has and it has depth and separation in the instrumentation and the voices that this just cannot even begin to touch. Let's look at the sheet and I'll explain a little bit more. Rocket Man and Mama Said, those two songs got a 10 with the Marantz, or I'm sorry, not the Marantz. The Marantz got a 5 with the Pioneer Elite. And you'll see here that's like on here I said that new stuff came out of the music. Range and detail are killer good. And that's true. On those two particular songs, there's a lot going on. And there's a lot of dynamics in those songs. There's a lot going on in the background. And once you've heard those two songs on the Pioneer Elite, the Marantz honestly just sounds like a foghorn. And I know that's going to piss some people off, and I apologize. And I guarantee this one has been maintenanced. It's all happy and goodness. I even pulled out my 2252 and did it as well, and it just, compared to the Elite, after you listen to the Elite on those two songs, the Marantz, just the older, the vintage, just sounds like a foghorn. I'm sorry, it does. And I'm not calling your baby ugly. She's absolutely beautiful. This thing is okay. I do like the sleek black look. This does differentiate itself from the other black faces, but it just does not sound that great. Let's go through the rest of the songs. Take 5 and Enter Sandman, while they are from two completely different genres, it was very hard for a lot of these receivers in prior videos, reviews, to get up to that scale of 8, and some of them couldn't even get to 5. So it did really, really well there. Guitars and Cadillacs, it is a very live sounding song on the flat out everything in the middle, which is what I do on all of these reviews. Like all the tone controls are in the middle or defeated, or the receiver is set to direct. It didn't do overly fabulous compared to some of the prior reviews and future reviews. This one, the Marantz, again, that song, if I was to go back and grade the Marantz on that song, compared to what I've heard since setting the Marantz at 5, the Marantz would probably get like a 2 or a 1. It's too foggy. It sounds like it's supposed to, that song is supposed to sound live, and it's supposed to surround you. It's supposed to feel like you're in a bar listening to this band playing on the stage. And if you listen very closely, there's a lot of stuff going on in the very, 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 very background of that song. The Marantz just doesn't do it justice. And while it does sound good with Pink Floyd, once you've listened to some remastered Pink Floyds on this this Pioneer Elite, and then you go and switch over to the Marantz, you're like, God, if they could just put the looks of the Marantz on top of this, it would be wonderful. And that's really what it boils down to. And that's why I'm doing this review series, is I'm like, man, this Marantz tax, you're not getting a lot for that tax as far as your ears. Your eyes, yes, this is glitter candy, this is man candy, this is shininess. It's beautiful. I admit it, it's absolutely beautiful. But here, let me fix this one. Here, I'll fix it. Okay, here we go. There, I fixed it. It's now fixed. If it had this faceplate on it, everybody would want this model. I guarantee everybody would want this model of the Marantz if it had that faceplate on it, because it sounds that darn good. All right, going into the inputs, outputs, and rating crap on it, it does have no 4 ohms on the 101. It does have 3 aux or like CD aux phono inputs, so you can load a lot of different units into it. Also has a slew of video inputs, which you can use as audio, but I'm not counting those. I want, like, these are dedicated analog inputs. Non-surround sound speaker pairs, you can do 2 out, left-right leakage, very little in this thing. The Marantz, different story altogether. And then separation and stage on this one, maxed out. This dude maxed out the scoring. It did an absolutely fabulous job of presenting the depth and separation and just surround. It just pulls the music around you. All right, now serviceability, I'm giving it middle of the road. They make a ton of these. You can find parts. As far as the build quality, I feel like they did a much better job than most do at this price point, but they still do have, like, the heat sinks are wafering, and it's not way up there. It's not like the Yamaha or, gosh, what are some of the others that I've done reviews on that are just built like bosses. Anyways, you get the point. It's not built like a boss. It's just built. It's built well. As far as visually attractive, I kind of gave it a neutral. Does not come in silver, so it got dinged on that. Overall, it comes in with a score, total score, very, very close to the Marantz. But as far as the listening experience, it is absolutely wonderful. So you'll see it ranked in the graph really, really high compared to the Marantz. You'll also see on the sound to value crap, this chart, it is way high. It's honestly a steal of a deal, in my opinion. That's really all I have to say. I know that I've kind of come at this as kind of defensive in the way that I've presented this, because as I'm going through these videos, I'm getting further and further away from liking the Marantz, and I think that's coming through in the video. So I apologize if this comes across as defensive, But I really am like falling out of love with my vintage Marantz. And you're joining me along that journey. I really, really enjoyed this thing. And I say that in past tense because I've done the reviews now. I'm done with listening to all of these. And I don't think I'll ever use it again. I really don't. It's a great piece to bring people into the store. But that's about it. Honestly, I don't care for it anymore. And I'm kind of sad about it. I'm just kidding. I'm not really sad about it. I really like listening. I care more about the music than the way this looks. Now you get to give them a listen. Tell me what you think. Like and subscribe, or give me a thumbs down. I don't know. If you don't like my attitude about Marantz, I'll cry about it though. I promise. No, I won't. Have a good day.